Hello, it's Lisa Starr back with you for another episode of StarrCast, coming to you from Dubai in the Middle East. This week is the Global Wellness Summit's 19th gathering. There will be 550 attendees, and the waiting list, as I'm told, is more than 100 long. We have 3 days of presentations, panels, networking, gala dinner, pre- and post-summit activities. And it's an exciting time as many executives from across medicine, hospitality, spa and wellness, governments are here at the summit. I have managed to snag a few folks to chat with them about their views on longevity, as longevity through a wellness lens is the theme of this year's summit. So I hope that you enjoy these little chats and insights, and please take a moment and listen. So I'm with Kathryn Dundas, MD, CCFP. She is at her 4th Global Wellness Summit, and we are talking about longevity because it's the topic of the summit, longevity through a wellness lens. And I'm really interested, Kathryn, in your view as a physician with many years of experience, how you view that statement and the whole idea of longevity through a wellness lens. Is it a new concept?
I say it's new language for an old concept. So it's something that has been practiced since the start of time. Same with wellness. So longevity is giving it now a label, I think, that is great and that the public really resonate with it. So people are starting to hop on board, let's call it the wellness train. So wellness was a word that came into the spa industry, probably early 2000s. People started to use wellness. And I always said I practiced wellness when you talked about mind, body, spirit. I look at Sublime Life, which I started in 2004, being more vitality, balance, and connection. When you look at longevity medicine, it's preventative medicine. It's what was called anti-aging medicine before. And now when we look at longevity, we're focusing on the fact that you can reverse some aging. And so that's one of the concepts of longevity. But the true concept of longevity to me is increasing your health span, which is your quality of life. So I think everybody has that goal.
But was this a word that was used before wellness? It seems like in the last year and a half, as Susie said, like longevity just all of a sudden it's everywhere. What happened?
Yeah, it's the word. I don't know who started using that word, but I would say when COVID hit and people started to really research things themselves and say, I need to advocate for myself in the healthcare atmosphere, somebody started using the word longevity. It's similar to now you hear the word biomarker, you hear biohacking. People are thinking those are fancy new terms. They're not. They're new renditions of terms. I'll say to my kids, I sew. So this is a sewing hack. Or making them dinner, teaching my girls how to cook. In Alberta, we do eat some red meat, and you're making a hamburger, press a little dent in the center of it with your thumb. That's a cooking hack. So a biohack is just something you're doing with your body. It's a quick little hack, a fix. So I'll say to people, move every hour. That's a biohack.
Sure.
Exercise is the number one biohack.
Technology or
no, so it doesn't have to be a good biohack. I'll have people practice box breathing, or I'll say just take a deep breath. Like take a deep breath, take that pause in your day. Those are all biohacks.
Because they're intentional, right? Because we're not just going with it. We're sort of pausing a moment and saying, oh, if I did box breathing or if I did move an hour, then I'm going to have a positive result.
So those are pauses. A pause in itself would be a biohack. But a biohack, think of it as almost like a snack for your body, or like a quick thing you can do. Intermittent fasting is called a biohack because you're altering something. You're changing that outcome. Contrast therapy, that's a biohack. Using blue light. We've had blue light for years, for SAD lights, those are all little biohacks because we're altering the biology. We're changing that. So a biomarker, people think a biomarker is a fancy term. It's not. We've been doing blood tests, again, for years and years and years. A biomarker is just one of your blood tests, or it's another data point on your body. Like one of your biomarkers would be your visceral body fat. we've been measuring that for years. VO2 max. I've been measuring people's VO2 max since the year 2000. I started doing that because we knew back then that the higher your VO2 max, the better your quality of life at the end of life. We've known that for over 25 years. People are just now starting to talk about it. So I'm not sure why the conversation has become more mainstream, other than I don't like to blame everything on COVID, but this one I will say people realized there's a lot in medicine that we don't know. And so we proved that during COVID, and there were some divided camps. Then it also came down to, I need to control my own health because I don't know who I trust. So, and our system got overtaxed. People feel failed by the system sometimes, or they can't get help. And so they're trying to do it themselves. AI, tech. So that has really, really driven things. And we're putting verbiage to it. So we're creating a conversation that people can have that's not science sounding. That's my explanation.
Do patients come to you and use the word longevity? Like, do they ever come in the office and say, Doc, I'm here because I want to improve my longevity chances? Or is it just a byproduct of their natural wanting to be well?
No, people are using longevity now. So I've actually had to adopt the term to myself so that they understand what I do. So I've practiced integrative medicine, functional medicine for years, preventative medicine. Yet if I say to somebody, well, yes, I'm doing longevity medicine, they're, oh, okay, let me talk to you about my hormones. Okay, what about what I was doing before? Did you not understand I did this? Or I'll say to somebody, okay, let's have a cardiovascular longevity consult. Then they're all into it because they understand that's what we're going to do to help prevent you getting disease in your cardiovascular system. But that's what we've always been doing. We're just framing it differently. And as long as that helps people want to get in and do the stuff and participate in it for preventative health, that's great. So I love that.
It takes.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'll be that longevity. Yes. So
what the next word will be.
Well, I have framed it where I was saying to you earlier, I like to call myself a conscious longevity physician because some of the longevity stuff that's out there, I think actually separates us and disconnects us almost more from our body, because some people will get so caught up in collecting data. They're wearing continuous glucose monitors. This is my HRV, this is my heart, what's my blood pressure now, and they can stress themselves out. You're bumping up your cortisol. You're in your sympathetic nervous system now. And I say you need to actually get regulated first, get in your parasympathetic nervous system so that your body can detoxify, your body can process, you can actually absorb your vitamins and be more vital, like be present in your life. You're not present in your life if you're too busy recording and stressing.
So true. I do think sometimes we get obsessed with the data on our wrists, on our fingers, in our phones. You know, I like having it, but I've stopped looking at it every day. I don't need to know how many hours I slept when I know I didn't have a good sleep. It's almost worse to know, right?
So, and it's so individual. I'll say to people, and that it's that awareness of yourself that's important, I think, for life. And so some people, they feel anxious if they don't have that data. So it can be a bit of a weaning process that has to happen, or they're going to feel you've taken their lifeboat away and now you're making them dysregulated. There's other people where they just want to know, should I be doing my blood pressure today? Am I okay, or am I harming myself? Like, no, just practice your breathing. You're good. They're like, thank you. You've released me.
It's funny because you would think that people of a certain age, I mean, we didn't grow up with this stuff. It's relatively recent. I would think it's more among young people that grew up with data. But from what you're saying, it sounds like it's across all the age ranges.
It's interesting to me because you're absolutely right. There's this younger generation in their 20s that I'm seeing really recording everything and monitoring. And there's a mental health epidemic, I think, globally. And so there's a lot of anxiety in the world. And so some of the younger generation may be doing that as part of that anxiety and a fear. But then we also have this baby boomer population that's come up, and that they are definitely huge longevity consumers. They may not be able to spin off all the terms as well. They'll know their Oura Ring has an HRV, but they have no idea what that means. Right. And so they'll ask me, well, is higher better, lower better? What does this mean? So I'll help educate them on that, help educate them on how they can improve that. Because if you just get that number, but you don't know what you can do to change
what
it.
What help is it?
It's not any help at all.
It's probably more harmful than helpful.
Yeah. And so that's heart rate coherence. And so giving people exercises they can do at home for that. I've incorporated equine therapy into what I do because courses actually bring you into coherence. It's similar to, if you think about getting up in the morning, if you're in a climate where you can go out and have coffee on your deck, hear the birds sing, how relaxed you feel. The bird song naturally puts you in parasympathetic nervous system. So our body reconnects to nature. Birds sing when they feel safe, which has this automatic vibration through us that calms our amygdala and everything shifts.
Can we get that result if we listen to a recording of a bird singing?
And nature soundscapes.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah. So I've done a lot of research into that because patients I have who are elderly who can't get outside anymore in hospice or dementia and they're in a locked unit, I will have caregivers play naturescapes and not music because sometimes the patient will get agitated. And if they can't verbalize what that is, music can be very emotional for people. For some people, emotions can be triggering. It depends what you're playing. And if you don't know that person that well, you might be playing something that's bringing up something that's putting them into fight or flight, yet they can't go anywhere. You're safe when it comes to a soundscape, a naturescape.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So you as a physician have been coming to the summit. This is your fourth time, as we said. What brought you to it? I mean,
this summit particularly, I said I need to be here for my patients because it's on longevity. Longevity is a field right now where there is a lot of stuff that's on the fringe. There are things that as a traditional physician, I practice integrative and functional medicine, but traditional medicine as well, that there are things that are evidence-based and are safe, and we know this is good. There are also things that we know show a lot of promise and we haven't shown them to have any harm. Do we really want to wait 50 years when you're not here anymore to try that out? Is it safe to try now? So there's a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of new tech to get aware of and see how that's going to be helpful. On the other hand, it's traditional medicine on its own, I think misses a whole lot. It's not answering a lot of questions and fulfilling a lot of needs for people. Hence, I explore other areas and do it with that lens of critical appraisal. So I have to be at places like this where I worry that there can be some fringe and I need to know that so I can answer those questions when people ask about it.
But that's really smart. It's like being a cosmetologist, but reading Vogue magazine to see what your clients are reading. So when they ask you about this latest skincare ingredient, you know what the common knowledge is on the street. What have you heard here that struck you? What was really interesting so far? We're only on day 2, but we've had quite a few presentations already.
So I think a big thing is with AI. A lot of people taking an AI platform and using that as their primary care physician. So I'm going to be that person because I'm a medical doctor to say to people that that's a good tool. They're good tools, but I really hope that as part of their team, they'll still find that healthcare practitioner to involve in it. I did an experiment with ChatGPT where I took a photograph of a patient of mine, a teenager, who had messed up her birth control pills. She wasn't sure if she was on the real ones or the sugar pills. And what do I do? So take a photo, pretend I'm a patient, put that in there. Okay, ChatGPT, where do I start the pack again? What do I do? It actually gave the completely wrong answer. So it told me to take the wrong pill. There are only 2 colors. It was a 50-50 chance. It got it wrong. So I then said to Chat, don't you mean the white pills or this one? And it goes, oh, good catch.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And there's been other things where it's great because it can type things out fast. I can ask it this study. I love AI for certain things, but you have to know how to drive it. So it will produce stuff. And then I will say, well, you're missing this one study that just came out. It's like, oh, good catch. It likes to say to me, good catch. It must be the way I speak. I don't know, but that's the big one. And then I was told by somebody who's in tech, they said, also say to AI, don't hallucinate. When you ask it a question, say don't hallucinate, because AI wants to please you, which I did not know that. I thought it's...
Just gave you facts.
Yeah,
but it has emotion too.
It wants to please you, which also explains, like, some people get into relationships with AI.
Oh, I've heard that.
And I actually don't mind that. So as a doctor in primary care, and there's a lot of mental health issues, people who don't have access to counseling, it's incredible how many, when they're having difficulty in their relationship, will turn to chat and go, am I being crazy? Like, this is what just happened.
They just want to be heard by someone.
They want to be heard. It's not a someone, so obviously there can be bad things with that. But if it's something to support them when they're away from me for a week to come back, it gives them a way to journal almost. Because people tend not to be writing right now. Right. And so it gives them a place to put all their thoughts and some support so they don't get gaslighted. They don't get into a domestic violence situation. It's interesting.
Do you ever ask to see what they've been saying? Will they share it with you?
They will share it. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of general practice, I think, and as I said, with longevity, a lot is our mental health in dealing with that regulation in our nervous system. That, to me, really has to come first. And if your cortisol is high, your stress hormones are high, your other hormones are not going to function properly. Your gut won't function properly. Your immune system won't function properly. You'll have brain fog. You're in fight or flight. For some people, you're in freeze. And some people don't even know that they've been living their life that way. If they had a lot of adverse childhood events, they come from generational trauma. There's a lot of things that need to be unraveled and layers of that onion that need to come off. And that's where, again, experiential therapy. So with horses, they don't necessarily have to speak. You don't need to have a conversation. You don't need to relive it. Your body physically releases it. So relate it to yoga. Somebody going to yoga and they don't know why they're crying on a mat. Like, what just happened? It's a somatic experience.
It's really interesting to hear a physician's take on this. You know, we've been talking about wellness in the spa and wellness world for decades, but it takes a different form. And it used to be just coming to get a massage was wellness, right? And now that's just the tip of the iceberg. People want more. And the more we have the internet and chat and tools, the more people want. So we have to stay on top of things. And I love that you're here doing just that. I wish you were my doctor.
Thank you.
So thank you, Dr. Kathryn Dundas, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So we're here with Kirsty MacCormick. She is the Senior Vice President. You're the big cheese at BB Spa Group. So we've known each other a while, and you've been in the industry decades as a therapist and operator, and you've been with BB Spa Group about a year and a half now?
Yeah, a year and a half.
So this is your 11th summit, I see from your pin. Let's talk about what do you learn here when you come to the Global Wellness Summit? Like, what's your purpose for coming?
It's to see all the wonderful people for a start from all around the world, which is amazing. But it's also to see what the future is. You know, we're looking to the future. We want to see, you know, all the reports that are coming out. You know, currently where the industry's at, you know, and how, you know, fast it's growing, but also what's the future, you know. And I think that's what's great about having the wellness and medical here. But I think we need to still remember about spa, because that's our core business.
Well, you and I have been coming to this long enough to remember when it was the Global Spa Summit.
Exactly.
And it's not that anymore. And I would say it's less about spa than it was, and yet spa is still present. When we talk about wellness, spa is a part of that.
Spa is our foundation. isn't it? It's where it started. And I think that's maybe where there can be a little bit of confusion, because certainly what we're seeing in the UK is a lot of spas want to bring wellness and longevity, but they're still a little bit scared. That was scared of how it's going to fit into their business. How do they fit it in? What's the best, equipment to bring in? So there is that little bit of confusion. But I think there was also confusion when spa started. So I think it's that natural evolution.
So if you're already a spa, what is there to be nervous about, right?
I think it's just different terminology, and it's equipment and it's but that's education. And I think when you see what's happening in the colleges and how we train our spa managers, there's maybe a bit of work to do there. So we can educate them more on what's happening.
Well, at least you train your spa managers. And in the US, they have they could take a program like mine online,
Sure.
live.
Yeah. And what we're doing in Scotland now is we're doing a spa scholarship.
Oh, that's great.
So we do that voluntary. There's 4 of us who get involved in it, and we raise money all year to do these spa scholarships, and we take 4 spa managers and really teach them. It's quite fluid, the program. It depends who's on it. And we ask them, what would you like to learn? What would you like to get out of it? And try and pick our brains of how we can best develop them during that 6 days.
Well, they all come with different strengths, right? You have people that were therapists, people that were managers, people that never worked in the industry at all, and you have to figure out what they need for it.
And I think it's also our responsibility. I think we've had amazing careers out of this industry.
Mm-hmm.
I serve.
For sure.
It's my responsibility to put back into it.
Agreed. I mean, that's why I do this podcast. It's my give back.
Have to pay it back.
Right.
Pay it back. And that's what we're trying to do at the moment.
So we've been talking this week about longevity. The theme of the conference is longevity through a wellness lens. Yeah. I mean, what does it mean to you as an industry veteran to be talking about longevity?
I think it's now the progression from spa to wellness to longevity. And I think that it is, and what we always do is with any project, it's that rethinking stage. Longevity is not going to be right for every single project. You have to think about what is right. Who's the guest that's, a lot of hotel spas we're doing, who's the guest coming in? What are they looking for? We can't be egotistical to say that that's what we want to develop because we want to. You have to do the research and you have to build what's right for that project. So we always do that. Some of the projects that we're doing, I would say about a third of them do have longevity in it. Some of them, it's not right for it. So it's very important that we make that, that distinction.
What does it mean to have longevity in it? How do you put longevity in?
So how do we put longevity in? We would maybe have a longevity suite, which could be contrast therapy, or it could be the technology. So we're putting hyperbaric in, we're putting cryotherapy in, we're putting oxygen in, so it depends again on the market and what we feel is right. It's like when you program a spa. How many treatment rooms do you put in? What thermal do you put in? When we're programming, the longevity is exactly the same as this. So you're going to put drip therapy in. Is that the right thing? IV drip, or is it not? We've actually been asked to do a longevity clinic at the moment, which we've developed a whole concept for, which is going to get rolled out across the UK. That first one will open in 6 months, and that's going into Westfield Shopping Centre. It's going to have a wellness village. So that will be on a membership, and it'll be on a drop-in basis. So you'll be able to go in there, have some contrast therapy, and have some longevity experiences like hyperbaric and cryo.
What's a wellness village?
It's a whole arm.
I love the sound of it.
I know, it's a whole arm of the shopping centre. Instead of all being retail, it's been taken out just for wellness. So that will be doctors doing testing. So they're doing blood testing. It's MRI testing. There's a specialist dentist there. There's an optician. We'll be going in on 2 floors, about 1,000 square meters, longevity clinic.
10,000 square feet.
10,000 square foot, yeah. So that's quite interesting as well. And that'll be based on a membership model and a drop-in.
That's fascinating. I mean, we are seeing globally that malls are struggling in some cases to attract tenants. The rents were always so high. And now these owners have these big buildings, thousands of square feet with no tenants. So I'm interested to see how these are evolving. And that sounds like a great use of the space.
And then other facilities, we're doing a very large destination spa in the north of England that is connected to a football club. So we're putting a full longevity suite in there that will be diagnostic testing and then some equipment and facilities in there as well with contrast bathing. And the way we're designing these, that they'll be able to be used separately and privately. If a football team wanted to take those, or a rugby team wanted to take those, or maybe it's tennis players or, premier athletes. So I think there's that part as well. Again, depending on your guest type. So going back to the rethinking phase, we really need to look at what the guest is, who they are, and what are they looking for.
Yeah, that's my next question is who's driving this? Are owners coming to you, or are you seeing consumer demand and saying to potential owners, you need to have this piece?
Again, absolutely. There'll be owners coming to us saying, yes, I want to do longevity. We will always go back to the fact that we want to do the research first. We don't do any project unless we have done research on what is right for it, because what happens then is you're going to end up building something that's not right. It's not going to have a return on investment. It's not going to be future-proofed. So, it's not going to last the time that it needs to for that investment. So again, going back to that thinking stage, and when we do a thinking stage, it takes us 2 months to do a full feasibility business plan, and it's about 80 pages long. And it's a complete analysis of the market in that area, globally and locally, nationally, what is right for that project. And then we can show that to the owner and say, in black and white, this is what we're recommending, this is the return on investment, this is what it costs to build, and this is the programming that needs to go into it.
Are you seeing that development costs are going up for projects?
I think it depends how smart you are. I think we're doing a few projects just now where we are value engineering the whole project because we don't have a big budget, and it's actually amazing what you can build when you really put your mind to it. So if you've got something that wants to be, has to be done in a very quick time, then your development costs are going to go quite high. If you really have time to manage it and really be careful, like anything, if you go out and you want to buy a bed very quickly, you can pay, £15,000. If you really put your mind to it and negotiate, you're going to get the right price.
Do you think that the demand for longevity will incorporate traditional spa treatments along with these new versions?
100%. Yeah, we're seeing that, especially the thermal bathing. So contrast bathing, contrast therapies, contrast bathing, thermal suites, which we're seeing happening a lot more and a lot bigger now because of the staffing issues that we've got.
Yes.
So we've not got as many therapists. So you're not seeing so many spas having 20, 24 treatment rooms. We're now seeing much bigger thermal with maybe 10 to 12 treatment rooms.
It makes more sense, really, to have a portion that's the traditional appointment-driven style and then have the sort of self-catered social wellness aspect.
But I think it's important when and this is something I've kind of harped on about for 10 years, let's not just let people go around the thermal and use it, how they want to, because they'll go into the sauna for 5 minutes and then they'll not plunge because they don't like doing it because it's too cold. Then they'll sit in the vitality pool for 15 minutes. I think we need to teach them, if you want to have a sleep program, this is the sequence that you use. If you want to have a detox, this is. So it's actually a treatment. It's not just a.
No, I agree. They don't, especially in America, they're inexperienced with it. And you go in and there's all these toys to play with no guidance. But I have been in facilities where they'll do a big chart on the wall, start here, spend this much time. And then the guests will do what they're guided. They just don't know.
Yeah. And again, it's asking at the beginning, how do you want to feel at the end of this? What do you want to achieve? And then using that program. And I think that's when you could say, you want to detox? Absolutely. So do this first. And then you're going to do some longevity after that to add to the program. So you're actually including it that way.
Do you think there's any concern, Kirsty, with like longevity in the sense of us knowing when we've got it? I mean, because you can't see it or measure it. It just seems like an ephemeral concept to consumers.
It does. I do think you do feel better though.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like lifestyle, isn't it? You can't go into a longevity clinic and have something once and expect it to be, you can't go in and have one drip or one H-bot,
So right.
You have to have it as a lifestyle, and it's like eating healthily or doing exercise. It has to be implemented into a lifestyle rather than, but if we go back to anything, Ayurvedic or TCM or, traditional healing, it's the lifestyle. It's not to be done just once.
No, you make an excellent point. Everything works when you do it as directed, and you can't just go once a year and it has.
I think there is a lot of education to be done though. I think there's a lot of longevity operations or businesses that are opening that are not going to last because it's It's just not done in the right way.
I went to one a few weeks ago and I'm like, okay, oh boy, this is not going to be around too long. Just a bunch of rooms with things in them with no direction or cohesion to it.
And the medical supervision and the diagnostic to start with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your input and your perspective. Very valued from someone with as many years in this as you have. And it's always great to see you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
So I'm here with Rod Derifield. Rod is the president of LEC and Earthlight, known across the industry. He will be the CEO as of January, and this is his first Global Wellness Summit. So, Rod, tell us a little bit about what it's been like being at this summit and what this theme of longevity means to you. I mean, you come from the business world. You didn't really probably talk about longevity in your other jobs, did you?
Hi, Lisa. First, thank you and appreciate seeing you again. You know, this has been a fantastic experience. The summit, first of all, the speakers were unbelievable. The topics that were covered were varied, but the central topic of longevity and health span is very meaningful personally to all of us, but also from a business standpoint for us, it's very meaningful because we look at impacting positively everybody's life. And as they find ways to extend that, it's really important for us to understand the things that will help people live better lives as well as longer lives.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So this was inspirational coming here?
Super inspirational. Again, it personally, these are topics that we all talk about all the time, and they're things that impact everybody from, the elderly all the way down to our children who are coming up in this world. So very inspirational. Truth be told, the science is pretty cool.
It's cool, isn't it?
It really is.
Especially, we had a few speakers that were scientists, but were able to translate their concept into things that you could understand.
Yes, that the rest of us could actually understand what they were talking about. And also the way it became very easy for us to assimilate, to be able to bring it kind of into our lives, like what things to kind of look for and what they believe is coming next, and how that in a layman's terms, what that will actually mean for us, and how to look for, there's snake oil out there and what's real.
I am always interested in the doctor's perspectives and the things they're studying that are so minute. Like, first of all, that you and I would never know about. And then when they tell you, you're like, this is your job. This is like all you do. But then you realize, thank God they do.
Unbelievable, right? The one doctor who was talking about taking just, a little bit of blood, and then on a little piece, it looked like a little strip, a little chip, growing micro organs.
Oh, what?
And then showing it beating, and it was unbelievable.
Well, I was really glad that he won the award for medical accomplishment or innovation. Deepak Srivastava, I think his name is. Really cool. So the theme is longevity through a wellness lens. How do you, as the person that operates a company that sells into the space, how will you take things away that you translate into the business?
A few different ways. I mentioned it earlier. I mean, part of this, it's longevity and health span. And when I say health span, as they talked about in the conference, it's the quality of life as well. So the things that we do, it's helping people live better lives, less pain, being able to have enjoyable experiences, but also experiences that truly help you recover. All of those things from our standpoint, hearing about the longevity and the advances that are being done, what it really means is we all need to figure out, how do we live better as well as longer? So that's from a business perspective. It's a really good takeaway for us to make sure that we're designing products that are actually going to help the different areas as we live longer.
And you've got to think about the consumer experience on your tables and your equipment, but the operator as well, the therapist.
Absolutely. So, this is one of those areas that there are touchless technologies, which there will be a place for those.
Absolutely.
Always. But human touch is so important. And our business is always, our tagline has been healing humanity through touch. And that touch, though, while we're going to need a lot more people that are trained, massage therapists that are trained to do that, we also have to think about them and how can we make this a better experience for the operators as well. Yeah, we've got a lot of different things to think about where we're going to have consumers who are living longer, and there'll be new challenges as we live longer, but then also being able to help the companies and the people who are actually providing the service to the consumers. How do we design things like a product that we have that is a grounding piece of material that we have on our products? It's great for the consumer who gets grounded while they're getting a massage, which is fantastic. We all need that. But it's also very important for the therapist because as soon as they touch the product as well, they're also getting grounded.
That's so interesting. So like a grounding mat on the table?
Yeah, it's a piece. It's like a grounding mat, but it's a piece that we actually put on top of our product. So as you lay down, you automatically are touching the grounding piece.
Are you aware of it as a consumer?
No. Visually, you can see the strip. We do it a different color, so you know what it is. But from a texture and feel standpoint, no, it doesn't feel any different.
Well, how does the massage feel after you've laid on a grounding piece?
Oh, it feels great. No, it does feel great. And I live near the ocean. And one of the things that I like to do is go out and actually, get in either my flip-flops or I take off my shoes and go out into the sand for that very reason, just to get grounded. So it's a very centering feel that you have, which, the massage helps, but also the grounding helps.
Well, any other observations or things you're looking forward to from the conference?
A couple observations coming away as a newbie.
Which I love that perspective.
Yeah, so coming in fresh, I think that everybody here, whether it's the doctors, whether it's the supply base, everybody here truly as a community is looking to work together to have and help longevity, to help health span, to help all of our well-being. So working very closely together it's a great community. The other part is I do think, as multiple doctors said, is that in 5 years from now, the medical world is going to have advanced so much through, we all say AI and machine learning, but it's going to advance so much. It's going to be a very interesting world 5 years from now. And then I can only imagine what 5 more years will bring. And it's just a great industry and great group of people. They've been very welcoming to me as a newbie, but also just to watch the relationships that are, 20, 30 years in the industry together. And it's really a wonderful place to be.
Well, that's good to hear your perspective. I do think it's important to keep up because if you're late to the game, you're behind, especially as you're a manufacturer, you need to be ahead of the curve. So good for you for being here.
Well, thank you very much. And we agree. We're certainly, we are making a lot of investments in technology and innovation, and also being able to supply these innovations truly to as many places as possible and as many people as possible.
Well, thank you, Rod Derifield, incoming CEO of LEC and Earthling, for joining us.
Thanks, Lisa.
So now we're here with Anke Brendt. She is the product manager for FIBO. For those that don't know, that is the largest fitness show in the world in Cologne, Germany in April. But Anke has been coming to Global Wellness Summit. This is your second summit, correct?
Yes, it's the second summit.
And at FIBO, they have started delving into the worlds of wellness and longevity. So Anke doing her job and diligence is coming to find speakers and concepts. So I wonder, Anke, what you thought this week about the programming around longevity.
Yes, thank you for inviting me to this exchange. This week was very intensive. I met a lot of people I know and new faces, and this is very important to me to build relationships and to know the persons behind all the stories and the hotels, and it's very interesting and very important for me, and I like it and appreciate it. Yes,
We had many great speakers, I think, this week. Always a lot of doctors, but sometimes the doctors, they talk in a way that you can't understand. And I felt like this week that wasn't the case. Like there were medical people, but they gave their message in clear ways about the importance of things we all know. Like if you ask anyone on the street what to do to achieve longevity, I think consumers, humans know that you need to eat right and you need to exercise and you need to sleep. But we are starting to get measurements for those things. And so the science has really come a long way. What did you hear this week that really made you sit up and think there's a lot to this science?
yes, that's right. Everyone knows we should sleep a lot and eat good food and and move every day. But that's right. We need measurements. We need measurements. We have supporting tools like our watches and other tools. I think this is the first way we can define it, and we can see if we on the right way. Yes. And for me personally, it's also important that you feel good. Yes. That you have friendships, that you are socialized. And this is a very important topic also for the future. The topic of loneliness. It's good to sleep enough, but if you have not a socialized environment, couldn't have a healthy life. Yes.
For sure, we heard a lot about that and loneliness. We've heard that being lonely is as bad as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day, like in terms of your life expectancy. So you're right about the social aspect. And I think it also explains we're seeing the explosion in social wellness options like bathhouses and thermal suites and retreats, things people can do with other people. You know, Anke, in your role at FIBO, you have decided to develop a longevity summit as part of the FIBO show, which is a separate unit, a day, a symposium that addresses issues of longevity. So you were kind of ahead of the curve on that. What led you to want to create that?
Yes. Yeah, that's right. We launched this year the Longevity in Hospitality Summit, and we will continue it for the next year. And it's not such easy to have the right speakers on the stage, because you have to have the right mixture, yes, for takeaways, for science, and yes, and the energy, yes, and the energy in the room. This is very important. But I work together with a very strong team behind me, and that's very important. They know the industry, and I can also support. I have now a view on this industry too, because I'm very interested also in my private life. I live this, and this is very important for your engagement and your motivation. Yeah.
What would you say some of your longevity or wellness practices are as a consumer? What do you do for yourself?
Yes, sleep is a very high priority of my life. It's not every night perfect. Also nutrition and movement. I always go by bike to my office every day, if it's raining or not. And it's very important to me to have enough movement, and yes, to read about this topic, and yes, to decide if it's good in the social media or not. I'm very involved privately too, yes.
So my last question, this year, as you said, was your first longevity summit at FIBO. Second, so what gives you the idea that this topic will resonate with the audience for FIBO?
FIBO is longevity. This is always my sentence because FIBO is movement in the first way. It's nutrition, it's mental health, and all things we need for longevity. And this is the perfect platform to experience longevity. Yes, that's the reason why the Longevity Summit is the right place at FIBO during the show in April next year. And the hospitality industry is very important for us too, because all the guests need orientation. Yes, they need an orientation, and hotels can offer this kind of services.
Mm-hmm. Well, it was an excellent summit this year. I was lucky enough to attend, and I'm sure it will be in the future as we all talk more about the longevity topic. So thanks for joining us, Anke.
Thank you.
So I hope you enjoyed those insights from attendees at the 19th Global Wellness Summit in Dubai, and put on your calendar for next year, November, I believe it's 10th through 13th, we will be in Phuket, Thailand for the 20th anniversary of the summit. In the meantime, see you at StarrCast next week.